hello to all the occupiers of White City Place. Really super happy to be able to bring you this week's yoga class from my home. I know some of you are in the hub watching this live, so hello. And those of you watching it online, welcome as well. So yeah, just find a spot on your mat, be nice and comfortable. Make sure that you are okay sitting cross-legged. If you're not, you can always put a little block underneath um, your bottom. Just going to give you that extra little kind of lift so that you can easily sit and not be uncomfortable. So just taking a couple of moments to get nice and settled here and just closing your eyes. Just going to adjust my screen so that you can see me sitting down a little bit better. Yeah. So just being nice and easy in yourself and always having this idea of this sense of arrival. So you've kind of landed on your mat and with your eyes closed, just noticing how it is, how you're sitting. Whether you're kind of forcing yourself to be sitting in a certain way, in a kind of a yogic way, or if you're just nice and relaxed. You just want to be nice and relaxed so that we can really sense our body. So having your hands on your knees, and we're just going to start to do some little circles. So we're going to start moving around. And I want you to imagine that you're moving around your spine, as if your spine is a central column. And you're just nice and easy moving around. Now you'll find that when you start to do so, especially with your eyes closed, you'll find that the momentum starts to do all of the work for you. So there's no effort after a while. And you might find also that the circles start to get a bit bigger. So you can allow that to happen as well. And look, if they're small, it doesn't matter. It's really up to you. And if you're going around in circles, swap direction, go the other way. And then slowly bring yourself back to center, to a nice resolution. Yeah. All right, so from here, let's just take the hands behind us for a moment. Have your fingers pointing forward. And really, before you even do anything, try not to think about the next move ahead. Think about what am I doing at the moment? So step by step. So with your hands nice and flat behind you, start to squeeze your shoulder blades together. And you'll notice that really opens up the upper chest, which is really good when you're sitting a lot at the computer. Okay, so start to squeeze the shoulder blades together. And then maybe put some pressure into the hands. Then you'll notice that the bottom gets a little bit lighter. And maybe you'll come up onto your knees. But you're going to feel that quite strong along your thighs. So just go nice and easy here. If you get really lifted, you can always let the head go. But only if you get really lifted. There's not much point otherwise. Then slowly bring yourself back down, and then let's come forward. So you're going to take the arms out in front, have them quite wide, and then slowly, maybe about the width of your mat actually, and then slowly sort of start creeping them forward. And at this point, start to feel like you're sticking your bottom out behind you. So you're coming from your hip creases. And then wherever you get to, just breathing into that space, just allow yourself to be here. Let the breath fill the back ribs. So you can feel the ribs opening up. And then just let it go. So doesn't matter, whatever we do today, just have two words in your mind. One is ease and the other one is softness. So soften and ease. And also with these forward folds, I like to have a little bit of a sway that really helps not to jar you into the position. And then slowly walk the hands back in towards your body. Let the hands drop by the sides. Take a nice inhale here. So feel really tall as you reach up to the ceiling. And then exhale, just let the hands come out to the sides. Just kind of like balance with your shoulders. And then take a nice inhale here. Draw the chest forward. And as you breathe out, round your lower back. So really tuck your tailbone in towards you and flip the backs of the hands so that the backs of the hands meet as you reach the hands forward. I'm going to turn sideways so you can see what this would look like. So you're rounding your lower spine as opposed to arching it. Keep pushing the hands away. Then we'll take one more breath here. So inhale, opening up the spine. And then rounding the spine as you exhale. All right, and release. Awesome. All right, we're going to get up onto all fours and yeah, facing the top of your mat. So however you want to get up there, doing that nice and mindfully. Yeah, and just moving the hips side to side so you get a really nice movement through the spine, and enough that maybe a knee will come off the floor as you tip to one side. So getting really familiar with how the body moves and what that facilitates. If you don't allow yourself to get stuck. Yeah. All right. And from here, we're going to come straight up into a down dog. But what you should do is if you just tilt to one side, so one knee lifts up, get that foot on the floor. So get the toes nice and pressed against the floor, and then just lift yourself up. And you're already in your down dog without really any effort. So just kind of walking the feet. Knees in towards the chest, just paddling the feet, taking those legs for a little bit of a walk. Yeah, and then we're going to come forward into a high plank, but I want you to really be mindful about this as well. So tuck your chin in towards your chest, and then roll through your spine as you come forward into your high plank until your shoulders are over your wrists. So it's quite a kind of raised high plank. I haven't let my hips sink or anything. Keep your hips quite high. It's kind of like a semi-dog in ways. And then from here, bend the knees and then start to push into the heels of your hands to draw the body back. Notice my knees are bent as well, so that I can really draw the back up towards the ceiling. And then slowly you can straighten the knees a little bit if you want to. And we'll do that again. So chin to chest, inhale coming forward. Bend the knees, push into the heels of the hands, draw the bottom back. So it feels like you're sticking your bottom up behind you as you ease back. One more like that. Inhale coming forward. Bend the knees, exhale, push the floor away, coming all the way back. Yeah. All right, we're going to drop the right knee down to the floor. Let's take the right hand off the mat, right onto the side, so that you can then just peel open the left side of your body. Now try and keep the hips lifting up to the ceiling so you feel this lightness in the top of your body. So there's pressure on the right hand, drawing the left hand up, and those hips just aren't sinking, you're letting them lift up. And then try and get your left heel down to the floor so you feel grounded on that foot. Yeah, bring the top arm up and over the ear if that feels nice. You'll feel the skin stretching over that left hip. Yeah, now if you are feeling super strong, so this is one of my maybes, don't have to do it. If you want to try though, and you've got your left heel on the floor, so your left foot's really grounded, you might lift up your right foot and just take it down in front. So you're coming to this fallen triangle. It's just an idea, and if you do take it, try not to let the hips sink down. Keep drawing the hips away from the floor. Yeah, it probably looks harder than it is, but it's quite strong on that right hand. So from here, in case you didn't do it, we're going to come back to the same position. So just bring the right knee back down towards the floor. And then bring the left hand back onto the mat as well. And then take the right hand back on the mat as well. So you've got your left foot out behind you. Yeah. And the toes are on the floor for the moment. But both hands are underneath your shoulders. Now we're going to lift up that left leg, bend the left knee. Look up, inhaling here, and as you breathe out, bring that knee in towards your chest, so round through your back and push the floor away on the exhale. Inhale, coming all the way back up. Exhale, round through your spine, draw the knee in. One more like that. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, draw the knee in and hold it here for a moment. Tuck your right toes under, get a really good grip on your toes. And all the weight's on your hands right now. So lift up your right knee and then push into the hands to draw that left foot all the way back behind you. And so here, really feel like you're lengthening your armpits by pressing into the heels of the hands and drawing the chest towards that right thigh. Don't worry about the left leg too much. It's just lifted, doesn't need to do anything really. If you want to bend that right knee a bit, and then you'll find you can draw the chest even closer to it. So really lengthen those armpits. Yeah, really that's just to get you in the right position for your dog. All right, so from here, we're going to swap it over. We're going to bring the left knee down to the floor. And then just scooch that right foot back behind you, keeping the toes on the floor. And from here, take your left hand off the mat, right off to the side. So you can lean on it and then you can peel up on the right side, a lot easier. So really peeling open the body. Keep the hips away from the floor. Keep drawing them back. Top arm up and over the ear and the right heel down to the floor. So if you're not lifting up the left leg, just draw that right arm back and just allow yourself to kind of hang here. Feel nice and loose. If your right foot is grounded and you want to try, put all the way into the left hand and just sweep the left foot forward. Keep it nice and straight if you can. Both legs straight if you're taking the fallen triangle. Oh, yeah. And then returning that left knee if you did it. So we're all back on the same page. And now slowly bring that right hand back down onto the mat, left hand back onto the mat. Lift up your right leg. Take a nice inhale here. Exhale, round through the spine, knee to nose. Inhale, take it back. Exhale, bring it forward. One more like that. Inhale. And exhale, bring it in. Tuck your toes under, left toes, tuck them under, get really strong, rip them into the floor, all the way to the hands, and then take that right foot all the way back into your three-legged dog, stretch it out. Keep pressing into the hands, drawing the weight back. And then we're just going to take the right foot down into a down dog, so just bring the right foot down, yeah, and then just take your feet to where you think they should be. So we get really habitual with our down dogs. We can always stay in the same place. So you can always kind of see what it's like if you bring them in a little bit closer or maybe a bit further away. And you'll find the further away they are, the harder it is to get your heels down. Not that it's important. You don't have to get your heels down, but it's just an idea. So just kind of playing around with the space between and maybe having a little sway side to side. Yeah, and then when you're ready, come up on your toes. Inhale, come forward into your high plank. Pausing here for a moment. And let's go back into that down dog again. So bending the knees, stick the bottom up, press into the hands. Exhale, down dog. One more inhale, coming forward. Chin to chest, into your plank. Inhale, coming forward. And then slowly we're going to come down. If you want to take your knees down, take your knees down. But if you're feeling strong, bend the elbows back behind you and slowly lower all the way down. Oh, let the belly come down onto the floor. Yeah. And then with your hands, just sweep them back a little bit so that the thumbs are in line with your lowest rib. So squeeze the shoulder blades in. Don't let the elbows come out to the sides. Bring them in. And then we're just going to push the floor away. Just think of it in that way. Push the floor away and lift yourself up. Now, if you're watching your lower back, just don't let yourself kind of sink with the belly. Keep pushing the floor away and lift the bottom up a little bit. Yeah. All right. So from here, we're going to tuck the toes under, lift up the knees, lift up the hips a bit, coming into a plank, and then ease all the way back into your down dog. All right. Great. So now in your down dog, put the weight on the left foot, lift up your right leg. Take it up nice and high and don't even think about what you're doing next. Just enjoy this feeling. Bend your right knee. Open up the hip and feel that the right foot's kind of falling over the left side of your body just enough so that you feel your right hand getting lighter. So that's your tipping point. Don't go beyond that. Just kind of notice what that feels like. And then come up onto your left toes. So you lift up your hips. And as you breathe out, bring that right knee towards your right elbow. And then inhale, push the hands into the floor so that right leg comes all the way back. Now we're going to take it to the left elbow, so exhale. Don't worry, you don't have to touch it, but you're just kind of crossing the body with that right knee. Inhale, take it all the way back. On this next out breath, you're going to step it forward in between your hands. Take your time. Don't worry if it doesn't come all the way forward. You can always grab it and lift it forward. But this is a nice little kind of time to pause here. So looking forward, keep your left fingertips on the floor, but take them out to the side just a little bit, and then lifting up your right hand, really nice and open. Breathing here. And then bring the right fingertips down to the floor. And then we're going to slowly straighten this right leg. So you're going to feel this in your hamstring. So just go easy. If it's too much, you can always bend the right knee. Just easing into that space. Yeah. Bend the right knee. Come forward again a little bit, and then just take your left heel down to the floor. So I want you to get really grounded on your feet. Keep your right fingertips where they are, but lift your left hand forward towards the front of your mat, and then see if you can look underneath your armpit. Maybe. And then from here, press into your right foot and push the floor away with your feet. So you come up into a warrior two. I know this is quite early on, but it's quite nice to kind of come into it early so you can feel the difference. Yeah, and then we're a little bit more aware of our body. So turn your palms up. Let's take a nice breathing exercise in our warrior one, warrior two. And I want you to feel really loose in this warrior two. Like you can bend both knees. Feel nice and kind of fluid. So we're going to inhale, lift up the arms, straighten the front legs. This is energetic. And then exhale, soft. No energy required. You sink and you melt into your warrior two. And again, inhale. Nice and lifted. Nice and energized, and then exhale, soften down. One more like that. Inhale, lifting up. Exhale, softening down. Lift the front palm. Inhale, coming back and just pausing here, feeling this nice kind of release. And now see what it's like when you straighten the front leg. You can get even nice and deeper, hanging over this side. Think of it like that, just kind of hanging over. Yeah. And then to come out of it safely, bend the front knee again. Yeah, and just lift yourself up. Cartwheel your hands down towards the floor. So wait till your hands are down here. Come onto your back toes. And then just step, if you can, the right foot back into your high plank. Yeah, pausing here for a moment, feeling strong. Keep pushing the floor away. And if you want to take your knees down, take your knees down now. Otherwise, bend the elbows back, exhale to the floor. Let your toes go flat. Sweep the hands back again a little bit so the thumbs are in line with your lowest rib, elbows into your chest, push the floor away. Inhale, coming up. Knees wide, toes together. Let's round the spine and ease into our first child's pose. Yeah. So taking a couple of breaths here, really feel the rib cage expanding as you breathe in. And contracting as you breathe out. One more breath. Keeping your hands right out in front, your next inhale brings you up. And as you breathe out, exhale, fall down towards the floor. Now here, you can have your legs quite wide because we're going to bend the knees and take the toes together again. So you can have the legs kind of star-shaped. So take an inhale here. Pause here. You might feel a little bit more open as well with the legs slightly wider. And then as you exhale, just bring the toes together, round the lower back, and all the way back into your child's pose. So we'll do a couple more of those with the breath. Okay, so inhale, coming up, shoulders over the wrists. Exhale, let the feet flick out the side, bend the elbows back to the floor. Inhale, push the floor away, toes together. Exhale, rounding into a down child's pose. Last one. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Inhale, lifting. Exhale, back. into your child's pose. One more breath in and out here. And your next inhale, coming back up onto all fours, tuck your toes under, straight back into our down dog, stretching it out. Let your head hang. And let your hips sway a little bit. Get used to that. It's a really nice way to ease into the poses. You know, you're not kind of putting too much stress on your body when you're easing in and out like this. It's a nice introduction. And also it's fun. It feels nice to keep that kind of meditative movement. A little bit of sway. Just feels nice. Yeah, all right. So leaning onto the right foot, inhale your left leg up. Now remember, don't think about what comes next. Just feel that. Keep drawing into the heels of the hands so that you can sort of push back in towards that three-legged dog. Bend your left knee, open up the hip, and just let that kind of dangle over the right side. And notice your left hand getting a bit lighter on the floor. But you don't want to get so light that you tip all the way over. So feeling that for a moment. Now, coming right up onto your toes, take an inhale first. Exhale, left knee, left elbow. Push the floor away to come back. Inhale, reaching back. Exhale, right elbow. Keeping the hips high. Inhale, take it all the way back. Exhale, you're going to step it forward in between your hands. Take your time. Get grounded. Have both feet nice and steady on the floor. And keep that right hand, the right fingertips on the floor, and just lift up your left hand. So again, the hips are nice and high. Really nice and lifted here. One more breath here. Now bring the left fingertips down towards the floor. See if you can bring the left hip back so you straighten the front leg. See if you can kind of let yourself hang over this leg. I know it's a strong hamstring stretch, so if it's too strong, you can bend the knee. Up to you, just kind of feeling that for a moment. Yeah. And now bend the front knee just a little bit more again, and then bring that right heel down to the floor. If you need to walk the foot in towards you a little bit, that right foot, then do that. Get nice and secure on both feet. Yeah. And then keep the left fingertips on the floor, but just reach the right hand forward, right out in front, to the front of your mat. And then start to look underneath your right armpit. So you get that nice length. Keep pressing into the outer edge of that right foot to get a nice stretch here. Now we're going to press on that left foot to bring yourself all the way up. Just surrender into that. Warrior two. Bend both knees. Make sure you're really movable on both sides. You're always ready to be able to move. You don't want to get stuck. Yeah. And then flip your hands up. We'll take that same breath exercise. So inhale, reaching up. Energize, stretch the fingers away, straighten the front leg, and then exhale, softening down. Two more, inhaling, and out. And again, and out. Inhale, tip it back. Peaceful warrior, just allowing yourself to hang here and then straighten the front leg so you can really experience that nice stretching down this side. And then bend the front knee, cartwheel the hands down towards the floor. Both hands are on the floor, just step that left foot back into your high plank. We'll meet back in child's pose, so exhaling to the floor. Inhaling, push the floor away. Exhaling, rounding through the spine, knees are wide, into your child's pose. Yeah. One more breath in and out here. And then gently come up onto all fours. And then just from here, make sure your hands are slightly further forward than your shoulders. Yeah, so they're not directly underneath, they're a little bit further forward. And then try and keep your hips above your knees. So try not to let the hips go back, because that will kind of get in the way. You'll be in the way of yourself. So try and keep the hips nice and high and kind of forward. When you take your right hand, we're going to thread it. So we're going to take it underneath the left and try and reach that right shoulder down to the floor. This is why your hips have to be kind of forward to allow that to happen. And let the side of your head, the right side of your head, come to the floor. Left hand can just stay on the mat if you like, or if you want to, it can come behind your back. Try and relax your knees. Try and relax everything if you can. Might feel a bit strange at first, but kind of ease into it. Breathing here. If you wanted to get a little bit funky, you can tuck your left toes under. I recommend taking your left hand back down to the floor though, and maybe straighten that left leg, but just be aware of your balance. You don't want to kind of fall over behind you. I would never do. So just kind of feeling that. Might feel nice. Yeah. If you've got the back knee lifted, just bringing it back down. Left hand on the floor. Push the floor away. Just bring yourself back up. Same thing again, having the hands right out in front. Again, be careful you've got your hips above your knees, that they're not back here. Left hand underneath. Reach that left hand as far away as it will go, and then bring the left shoulder down. Yeah, and that might be really nice just as it is, a little bit of pressure on the right hand. Or if you want to tuck the right toes under, you can straighten the right leg, and that will help you rotate to the ceiling a bit more, maybe. Again, there's another one of my maybes. It doesn't have to happen, it's just an idea. Breathing softly into your belly. And releasing the right knee down if you lifted it. Press on the right hand. Bring yourself back up onto all fours, tuck your toes under, all the way back into your down dog. Stretching it out. Yeah. All right, once we're here, we're going to lift up the right leg. Take it up nice and high. Walk your hands towards your left foot. So you're slowly bringing yourself in. Don't worry, don't overthink this one too much. Just allow yourself to kind of fall forward as best you can. If you need to bend that front knee, then so be it. Honestly, it's fine. Just wherever you're happiest. That right leg, don't worry about how high it is. Just allow yourself to sink here. Yeah, and then we're going to look forward and walk the hands back. Now walk them as far forward as you would for your high plank, all the way forward. And this is where if you're feeling a little bit less strong, take your left knee to the floor. Otherwise, see if you can keep the right leg raised as you bend the elbows back and lower down to the floor. So it's really a stronger plank with one leg raised. Let your feet go flat. Inhale, push the floor away. Knees wide, rounding through the spine. Child's pose. Exhaling here. Take 2 nice full breaths here. You can always come back to child's pose anytime you feel the need. Always listen to your body. 1 more breath in and out here. And your next inhale, coming all the way back. Tuck your toes under, lift up the knees, push the heels away, and rounding back into your down dog, stretching it back out. Yeah, a little bit of a sway side to side. Let's get those hips moving, keep the spine nice and fluid. Actually, in our down dog, let's just do what we did last week. Just take that right foot behind you. So you're kind of reaching the right toes away behind that left foot. You'll feel it strongest in your left calf, maybe your left hamstring. Yeah, let's swap that over. Bring the right foot back, take the left foot behind the right. Just feel that swapping over on the right calf. And then back to your down dog. Yeah, all right. So from here, we'll lift up your left leg, take it up nice and high. Stretch it away. It doesn't matter if you open up your hip, whatever you want to do, play with it. And then start to walk the hands towards your feet, your right foot. And then slowly hang over here. Maybe your bend in that right knee might feel nice at this point. So you're not over extending your hamstring. And then walk the hands back again. Now keep the left foot lifted unless it's too much. Please don't take it if it's too much. But walk your hands all the way forward to the plank position. Bring the body forward until all the weight is on over the hands. If you want to take the right knee down, take it down. Otherwise, exhale all the way down to the floor. Toes go flat. Inhaling here. Ah. From this up dog though, we're going to come up to kneeling. So push the floor away. Walk your hands towards your knees, all the way in, and then just come up to a kneeling position. Yeah. All right, so from here, I'm going to step your right foot forward. Take it really far forward, much further than you think you need to take. There's always more, because it's going to make it easier for you. So just make sure it's kind of off to the right as well. Always be thinking train tracks with your legs, i.e. they're always hip width apart, like two train tracks, as opposed to tightrope legs where you've got the right or the left in front of the other foot. And it makes it far more wobbly. So always, even with this kneeling position, make sure you've got those train tracks. So the right foot's kind of off to the right, and then slowly sink into that space. So you really feel that stretching through this left psoas muscle. This is where it's nice to kind of maybe take your forearms on your thigh and just sink into this. This is one of those positions that you can do when you're watching Netflix or something. You've got TV in front of you, you just hang here for a moment. Because it does take a long time to really soften this psoas muscle. So, we don't have that much time unless you're doing a yin class where you can hold it for like 10 minutes or something. But just give it a moment or two to really, really soften. And if it's possible, you might bring your fingertips to the floor. I know it can seem like a long reach down. The further forward that foot is, the lower you're going to be to the floor as well. So if you've got the hands down, you can have a little sway side to side, really kind of feel into that left hip. You can feel the skin moving over the hip a little bit. Just experimenting, swaying side to side. And then if you can, take your left hand right off to the side and then lift up your right arm up to the ceiling and then behind you. So you feel your shoulder blades squeezing together, but then there's resistance on this right foot. So you want to open that so you can see the sole, never get stuck. So the sole opens up and then let that right hand reach behind you. Sinking down. Breathing here. Keep your right knee where it is, but bring that right hand all the way up and over, down to the floor. Now, keep the right foot open so that you can keep that right hip open, and maybe an elbow will come down, maybe another elbow will come down, or you might think, no, I'm actually much happier staying up here, thank you very much. So really choose what you want to do. Like I say, everything I suggest is a suggestion. You don't have to go all the way. If you're coming down onto your elbows, again, a little sway is really nice to ease yourself into that position. Breathing here. And then gently start to bring yourself up onto your hands. Take the left hand off the side a little bit so you've got something to lean on, and then just let that right knee come back. Push the floor away and bring yourself up onto your knees. Before we do the other side, we're going to take a little something else. So just have your hands back on the floor, tuck your toes under behind you, push the floor away with your hands, and then just rock back onto your feet and coming into a little squat. I'll turn this way so you can see what it looks like for you. So into a little squat. You probably noticed my heels are off the floor, and that's an easier squat. So have your heels off the floor, fingertips on the floor, and then if you want to kind of press, I'll mirror you. So your left hand into your left thigh, and then you can lift up your right and get a really nice stretch out behind you. Nice twist. And then swap it over, left hand comes down, lift up your right, inhaling here. And exhale, bringing it back down. I don't know if we've covered the crow recently, or even if we did it last week, I'm not really sure, but have your hands really, really wide. I'm not suggesting you go into a crow, but I want to at least give you the preparation for it. So that next week we can do it in person together. If you know the crow and you're fine, of course, go for it. But at least the prep for now. So it's easier if I turn to the side again. but this is the starting point. You've got your knees nice and wide. And also, what you're trying to do is get your knee as high up this upper arm as you can, because this upper arm becomes your shelf. And you don't want to kind of fall off your shelf. You will start to slip down to the elbows. Try and start up as high as you can. So that's the first thing I'll say by facing you this way. From the side, it looks like this. So hands right in front, really wide, ducked feet. And you want to lift up your hips enough so that you can get that height with the knees against your upper arm. And then really kind of press them into each other. But keep your elbows bending back. And then all you've got to do is come onto your toes and just play with this weight. So I don't want you to go into it if you haven't done it or you're not sure. I just want you to, because I'm not there in person, but just kind of going forward and back. So you can feel the weight coming into your hands, and that's that tipping point that we've talked about before. And then you draw yourself back. So you're playing with your weight so you get comfortable. Now the key thing is you look forward. Please don't look back. You don't need to see your toes. They'll still be there. Just look forward about a foot away ahead of you, and keep that rocking motion so you can feel the pressure. You can feel like you can support your shins a little bit, and then one day you'll find I might just lift up one toe and then I'll come back, and then another day you might go I'll lift up the other toe and then come back, and you're just going to build that confidence over time until both toes maybe lift off the floor, and then you rock back again. You play with this idea of going back to come forward, until you can really feel the weight transference. So just be playful, but also be safe. All right, so let's come back into our squats. I'm going to come back to where I was. If you've moved forward, just make sure at the back of your mat again. So from the squat, we're just going to come back onto our knees and come back up. Back up to normalcy. All right, so maybe, come back a little bit towards the back of your mat and step your left foot forward. Remember, as far forward as you can. Sinking into that space. Allow some time to sink. So maybe forearms on the thigh first. So you can allow a bit of softness to happen. Remember 2 words, soften and ease. No matter how challenging. Yeah, and then slowly, if your fingertips can come to the floor, let that happen. Have this nice little sway, side to side. Enjoy that. Until you can get the right hand on the floor, nice and flat. Open up your left foot so you can see the sole. We're going to inhale, lift the arm up. Exhale, reach it behind you. And with this right shoulder, move it in. So you're kind of drawing the right shoulder in so the right hip can move down to the floor. And then really reach that left hand back. See where else you can soften here if you can. Keep the left foot open. You're going to lift up the left hand with the inhale. Exhale, bring the left hand down and just kind of get the hips nice and squared off. And then you decide from here, do I want to come onto my elbows, or is this enough? Maybe this is enough, and it's nice to kind of play around here, swaying back and forward, not back and forward, side to side. Or with that sway, you might go, oh, actually, yeah, I can bring down one elbow. Maybe I can bring down the other. So just noticing what you can do and not going beyond that. Yeah. One more breath here. Easing in. And then very gently pushing the floor away. Take your hands to the right a bit so you can sweep the left foot back. Keep on your knees, but then lower down onto your belly and come onto your elbows. So have your, we talked about this one last week, I think. Have your elbows underneath your shoulders and your hands in front. So this Sphinx pose. So it feels like you're putting your elbows in towards your body and your chest is coming forward. Yeah, there's a little bit of kind of, there's a lot of work in your muscles, even though you can't see it on me, you'll feel it in yourself. So the elbows are into the floor and you're pulling them back as if the skin is kind of moving back, but the bones are stopping it happening. You get to that point. And then the chest is coming forward. And maybe the pubic bone is, you can feel it against the floor as well. So everything's really, really tense. Breathing here. You can feel the squeeze of the lower back, just kind of hopefully sort of strengthening, constricting those muscles, and then release it. You feel the difference when you let go. Yeah. All right. So from here, we're actually going to take our little dolphin that we started last week. So as you're on your elbows, just cup one hand over the other and make sure that your hands are in the right place. They probably are, just from doing the Sphinx pose just now. And then release your hands. And then you can take them together if you want to, or have them flat on the floor, whichever makes you feel more comfortable. And then from here, we're going to tuck one toe and then the other set of toes, not just one toe, one foot underneath and the other. And from here, I want you to lift up your knees first and then push into your elbows so you can lift up into a low plank. Yeah. I think it might be easier to unclasp your hands actually and just have them flat on the floor. And then start to slowly walk your feet in until you come into your dolphin pose. So it feels like a down dog, but the elbows on the floor. And letting your head just hang here nice and loose. Maybe a sway again, could feel good. Now, if you feel brave enough, you might want to lift up the right leg. Maybe, doesn't have to happen. But if you start to lift up the leg, I want you to look forward towards your hands. It just kind of helps with the balance a little bit. And then you might bring the right leg down and maybe take the left leg up. Yep. And then bring that leg back down. Now, from your dolphin, I'd like to see if you can come up to your down dog from here. So lean onto the right elbow, place the left hand down, and then just the right hand. And you should be back in your down dog, hopefully. And from your down dog, now walk your hands towards your feet. So walk yourself back in towards your feet and let yourself hang over here, nice and long. Just stay nice and low. I'm going to open my window, I'm getting very hot. Stay nice and low in your forward fold and really bend your knees a bit so that you can feel that you're coming from your hip creases and it feels like you can stick your bottom up towards the ceiling a bit as well. So hanging nice and low, really feeling the back lengthening. Don't think so much about your hamstrings, think more about the back getting nice and long here. Yeah, and then from here, with your fingertips about a foot away from your toes, come up on your fingertips, you get this really nice high tabletop. Bend your left knee and raise your right arm up, really nice and open here. And then bend your right knee, bring the right fingertips down, inhale your left arm up. Nice and open here. And then exhale. Bring it back down. Slowly uncurl, coming all the way back up to standing. The shoulder blades relax behind you, squeeze them together a little bit. So you're standing up nice and tall. And then take a nice inhale here. You're probably at the back of your mat, hopefully you are. Press the ceiling away on the inhale. And as you exhale, just fall down one side. Just go nice and easy till the fingertips touch the floor. And then walk them forward again. You're going to come all the way forward into a high plank, down through a vinyasa. As you exhale, let your toes go flat. Inhaling here, knees wide, toes together, child's pose. Exhaling. One more breath here. Your next inhale, coming all the way back up. Shoulders over the wrist, tuck the toes under. Exhale. Down dog. Just adjusting your hands and your feet to the right place for you. Where does it feel good? And then leaning onto your left foot, lift up your right foot behind you. Now, we talked about this last week with the handstand thing. You don't have to go for this if you don't want to. Just enjoy that right leg lifting up. Or if you want to, bend your left knee, come onto the left toes, and just do some little mini hops. Now remember, it's momentum that drives you forward or not. Don't kick the leg up and keep that left foot close to the floor. Just playing around with that. We are going to step the right foot forward. So if you want to use this time to step the right foot forward, then do that. These just little playful things to drop in if you want. All right, hopefully we're all at the same place now. So here we are, bend the back knee, push the floor away. Inhale, lifts you up. Exhale, softening here. Inhale, lifts you up. We're going to take a twist to the right. Exhale. Drop your right hand. Inhale the left arm up, get some length here. And then exhale, elbow over the right thigh, bringing the hands together. And breathing here. Breathing into this twist. And then looking towards the front. Inhale lifts you up. Left heel down. Exhale, soft warrior two. Take a moment to catch your breath. Flip the front palm. Inhale. Draws you all the way back. Exhale. Forearm on the thigh. Just pausing here for a moment. And then I want you to lift up your right hand a bit so you can bring it out. So you've got these kind of parallel arms. And we're going to use the breath and do these really nice big circles. You need to make sure you can bend your back knee. All right? So take an inhale first. As you exhale, coming forward. Start to bend the back knee as you reach back. Take a nice inhale here. Round in a circle. Exhale. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, coming down. Last one. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, forearm on the thigh, top arm over the ear. Cool. Inhale, coming back up, straighten the front leg. All right, we're going to take a nice little triangle from here. So, left hand stays on the left leg. Right arm out in front. Inhale, lift it up just to get the length first. And then as you exhale, take your left hand on your left hip and rotate it to the front as you reach forward with that right hand. Reach a little bit more and let that right hand come down wherever it can reach. And then tip that left shoulder back. And then the left arm can come up as well. So coming into your triangle, try not to get too much weight on this right hand though. So push the floor away a bit and lift yourself up. Yeah. Nice and open. Try not to clench your knee muscles. See if you can let them go a bit. And then bring the top arm up and over the ear. Try that. Feels nice in your triangle. Yeah. Great. Now bend the front knee. Drop that hand. Inhale into warrior one. You're coming all the way back up. The thighs are facing the front. The hips are facing the front. And then exhale, drop the hands. Clasp your hands together. Squeeze the shoulder blades. And then as you exhale, press into the back foot. Come inside that right thigh as you slowly come down towards the floor. Let your head go as well. Breathing here. One more breath. And then gently release your hands, bring them down to the floor. Step that left foot back into your high plank and go through the vinyasa, exhaling. Toes go flat, inhaling. We'll take one little child's pose as we breathe out, exhale into it. Take one full breath here. One breath out. Inhale, going all the way back. Shoulders over the wrist, tuck the toes under. Exhale, back into your down dog. Feeling your down dog, this home page, this place we come back to for little check-ins. Notice how you are. If you need to bend the knees, bend the elbows, do whatever you need to do to make it feel comfortable. No rigidity, softness. Yeah. And then let's do the other side. So when you're ready, inhale the left leg up. Now remember, this is an option. Doesn't have to happen. If you want to, you can just enjoy lifting the left leg up and having a little sway around up there. Or if you want to take the little gentle hops, bending the right knee, maybe just rocking forward until the left leg lifts up a little bit higher to see how you go. Just don't kick it. And whenever you're ready, we can step the left foot forward. So take your time. getting there. It's all good. Bend the back knee, look forward so you get nice and balanced first. And then inhale, lift yourself up and soften. Inhale, lift up. Twist to the left, exhaling here. Drop the left hand, inhale the right arm up. Use this length to bring the right elbow over the left thigh. Now you can stay nice and lifted. If you'd rather just have the hands out to the sides, then do that. You know, whatever feels okay, your preferred place to be. It's still a twist, so it doesn't matter too much. Just breathe into that space, nice and strong for your feet. Try not to sink into it. Yeah, now look forward, take a nice inhale to lift yourself up. And warrior two, relax into that. Flip the front palm. Inhale takes you back. Forearm on the thigh brings you down. Take a moment here. So release the weight on your left elbow and bring the arm out to meet the right. So you've got both arms parallel. All right, so taking an inhale first. Exhale, down towards the floor. Bend the back knee. Inhale, coming up. Exhale, going around again. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale, last one. Exhale, forearm on the thigh. Inhale, reverse warrior, coming back, straightening the front leg, getting ready for a triangle. Exhale, start to reach the left hand forward. Right hand on the right hip, move the hips towards the front, reach a little bit more for your triangle. Lifting up that right hand. Keep drawing the right hip forward, right shoulder back. Yeah, try not to put all the weight on the left hand though. Push the floor away a bit, lift yourself up. Yeah, bring the top arm up and over the ear. Bend the front knee. Sweep the hands behind you as you come into your warrior one, then bring them up on the inhale. Exhale, let them fall behind. Clasping your fingers together. Take a nice squeeze of the shoulders. Take a nice inhale here. Exhale, push into that back foot so you can come inside that thigh. Slowly sinking down. Breathing into that space. One more breath here. And then release your hands. Bring them back down, staying nice and low. Step it back into your high plank and then gently lower down. To the floor. Yeah. Goodness me. All right, so here we are. Fold your arms. Turn your head to the right. I think we did this last week as well. Turn your head to the right. To the left, I beg your pardon. So the right side of your head is on top of your wrists. Yeah, so you're looking to the left. Bend your left knee. Let everything just relax on the floor. Bend your left knee, open up the left hip, and just let it dangle behind you, just like you do with your down dogs. Just allow that just to hang here. So you feel a nice little gentle twist. It should feel relaxed. Make sure your elbows are quite far away, so you're not kind of bringing them in too close to your neck, and you can't kind of let your head relax. That nice space here. And then roll back onto your belly. Turn your head the other way. Bend your right knee and roll that one back behind you. Come back into the center. Stay on your belly, but just take your hands sort of as if you were coming into a cobra, so underneath your shoulders. I think we did this, yeah, we did do this last week. So bend your left knee, start to open it up just like you did a minute ago. And the minute the knee lifts, press into the floor and drop the left foot behind your right. Then press into the floor and just come into your wild thing this way. You can keep it nice just to the side if you like, or you can get the right foot solid on the floor, bend both knees and take it into a wild thing if you want to. It's up to you, whatever feels nice. And then gently return, lower the hips back down to the floor, roll back onto your belly, straight into the other side, bend the right knee, let that right foot drop behind you, press into the left hand, push the floor away, inhale, lifts you up, exhale, surrender into it. And slowly bring that hip back down to the floor, roll back onto your belly. Yeah. Here we are, back on the floor. Inhale, bring yourself back up, and then just let your knees go wide. Now, if you're, depending on how your ankles and hips are, and your knees especially, we're going to come back to sitting and just cross your ankles behind you, and then bring yourself back onto your sitting bones. But only if that feels okay. If it's not good on your knees, don't worry about it. Just come into sitting however you can. Yeah, all right. So this time we're going to take a nice little kind of moving forward fold, which I find really helpful for getting into that position. So always remember you're coming from your hips, so you get this nice hip crease and a straighter back rather than rounding your lower back and kind of reaching forward this way. That's not going to do us any favors. So a bend in the knees is good because that helps us come from the hinge from the hips. So bring yourself up a little bit and then straighten the legs out to wherever you're comfortable. A bend in the knees is always good, even a micro bend. Okay. Left hand goes over the right, so you're crossing the left hand over the right, onto the outside edge of the right calf, and then inhale, reach the right hand behind you, and as you breathe out, take a further bend in your knees and let the right hand come down, crossing over onto the left leg, and then inhale the left arm back behind you. So you're using this right hand against left leg as a bit of a lever to kind of draw yourself back a bit, twisting back a little bit more. And then exhale, bring it down. Again, right. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. When you've done a couple of those, you might feel like, oh yeah, I might just kind of try and stay forward now. And again, little rock. Side to side, the hands can just be on the floor or just holding onto your ankle bones if they like. Just easing into this forward fold. Just allowing yourself to surrender, to let go. Nice and easy on yourself. And then very gently start to push the floor away and bring yourself back up. Yeah, all right. Let's bring the knees further into the chest and roll into a little mini shoulder stand thing. I don't even like to call it a shoulder stand because I don't want you to go all the way up into a pencil. Just stay nice and low with your hips. Just long enough to feel a little bit of levity. Maybe you can do some cirque du soleil things with your legs, have some fun with that. Maybe they'll come to the floor behind you. It's up to you. Just be playful, whatever it is that you want to try. Just for a moment here. And then we're going to really slowly roll down the spine until you come onto your nice flat sacrum. Yeah. Let your left, as you notice, keep both knees bent. Keep both knees bent. Take your arms out to the sides at 3 o'clock and 9 o'clock. And then just let your knees fall to one side. So it's not really a pose. It's just a letting go. Relaxing into that. And rolling back into the center and to the other side. Softening all the way. What muscles can I let go of? And back into the center again, and either staying with your knees bent in towards your chest or just letting the feet come down to the floor. Maybe just let yourself sink here in your Shavasana. allowing yourself the space to surrender. So, not holding on to any muscles, just allowing your body to release and surrender control. This really lovely post recovery observation. It's so nice to just notice once you've let go of the control. Notice what your body does so naturally. There's no control of the breath. It's just breathing how it knows best right now. And knowing also that there's that extra oxygenated blood flowing through your body, replenishing those cells. But really just doing all of this with no conscious effort from yourself. It's just so lovely to let all of that go and happen and allow ourselves to recover in this pose. This mindful practice of letting go. Noticing the contact points with the floor, maybe the back of your head, backs of your hands, pelvis. And sinking. And just noticing the breath coming in and out of your body, observing that. And when you're ready with your next in breath, maybe taking your arms up and over your head and stretching them on the floor behind you, making yourself nice and long in your body as if you're on a stretching machine. You can push your toes further away as well, get nice and long here. And then fold yourself up by bringing your knees in towards your chest and just rolling over onto your right hand side. Just noticing what it's like in your body to then fall again, fall onto that space, letting gravity support you. And then keeping your eyes closed, push the floor away and bring yourself back up to sitting comfortably, whatever that is for you, just mindfully coming back. Just noticing how your breath is from that little transition, how it kind of resets itself again. Noticing your jawline if it's relaxed, or clenching the jaw. And then ever so gently opening your eyes, just as though you're raising some blinds, just gently letting the light in. And just taking in your surroundings, the sounds, sights. Thanks, guys. Thanks so much for being here. Um, have a beautiful rest of the week, and I will see you next week when I'm back. And can't wait to do another one with you. So have a beautiful time. Thanks so much for being here. See you again soon.